This is a Skeptic Frog production. Air, water, earth, fire.
With the cards dealt, the pieces set, and the wheels beginning to turn, the White Lotus now more than ever has to face their own reflection, as both worlds watch in anticipation for what will come of the Avatar's return.
Previously on Dice Benders.
I am the water that flows through its stem. I come offering you an answer.
What's the catch?
I want Ishmael.
You don't get to use me at all.
So if this is going to be the way to encourage you to follow me, then so be it. Mordon's hands are on Aiden's head and chest. Aiden, you don't have your bending anymore. I think that there was a plan from the very beginning, which only leads me to believe that there's an infiltration in the White Lotus.
Those types of spirits can eat your spirit energy. We are solid spirit right now.
Get us out of here!
Cover me!
And I'm gonna roll initiative for Go.
Jeez Louise.
Go rolled a 2.
I rolled 19 plus 3.
You rolled a 19?
Yeah.
Jeez.
22 total.
Alright, so Taro, you definitely go first. But something that's gonna make it fun, since I have all of you here, I want one of you to roll me a D8.
Oh no.
7!
Okay.
No! Kevin, why?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't even have enough space for this. So,
Oh, sugar honey.
there will be 7 wasps that individually attack between Taro and Go's turn. And at the end of initiative is Valhalla. I want one of you, since Kevin rolled to see how many wasps, I will actually ask Jaeger to be the rolls for Valhalla. At the end of every initiative, Valhalla is making a constitution check. Now, he only has a +1 to constitution, and he has to pass a DC of 10 at the end of every turn. If he gets 3, Taro is able to break out of this. Valhalla is able to concentrate enough to where he can pull himself and Taro out of this area and get back to the material plane. So Jaeger, it's in your hands. If Valhalla gets hit, and Taro, this is where things really get interesting for you. If Valhalla gets hit, this roll is made with disadvantage, making this battle last longer.
Do I still have the hit points that I had prior to taking
Yes.
a sleep? Okay.
You also have all of your equipment, but because you are an apparition in the spirit world, you don't have your bending. So that's going to be fun. So, Taro, you rolled a frickin' 23. You get to go first.
Okay. Alright, boys and girls. I'm gonna run up in front of Valhalla.
Let me set the
Yes.
scene for you as well, for you and the rest of them that are listening. You guys are standing on a giant pillar high in the sky to the point where 100 feet down is just fog where this pillar is standing. And there's various multiple other pillars of equal or different heights, some higher, some lower, some level, but generally higher. In this scene, there are floating rocks with some trees and some vines that are connecting those floating rocks to these pillars, so on and so forth. Go mentioned that this is exactly where Republic City is, but in the spirit world. There are a few swarms of Mantis Wasps, which are these medium-sized wasps, so like the same size as a human, but with mantis hands as 2 of their legs instead of all 6 being wasp legs.
Ew! No.
That's the scene. The background is very gray, full of mist.
Where's my
A lot of what's around you guys is misty besides just these pillars and these wasps. And beyond that, it's too much of in a state of panic for you to really know what else is going on.
Oh,
I think
have
that'll
a
do it.
question.
Sure.
Since I still have my firebender suit, can I use that?
Roll me a d20.
Okay.
I would say anything higher than a 12, you would have it on you.
Well, I got a 5, so no.
Okay. You don't have it on you right now.
And I'm not able to use any, like, tech or features, right?
No features or techniques, yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Well, I'm gonna run up toward the swarm, and I'm gonna try to hit one with my light hammer.
Do it up.
16 plus 6, 22.
That definitely hits. Go ahead and roll for your damage.
I got a 3.
A 3 plus your strength.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
so-
A 3 on the
Yeah.
die plus your strength modifier.
Okay, so 3 plus 3, 6.
6?
Damage. Yeah.
Alright, and you also have an extra attack. Go ahead and attack again if you would like.
I will. That is a 18 plus 6.
Super dope.
And that is 5 damage.
This thing is on death's door. You see it barely hanging on through its wing. Okay, so I'm going to roll a d6 to see how many go after you, because these things eat spirit and you are just a physical apparition of a spirit. So you and Val in particular are looking extra tasty to these things. I rolled a 6. That means 6 of them are going to be attacking you.
Sick.
It's better than them attacking Val.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I have 6 d20s with me. What is your AC?
18.
Damn, girl.
It went down one.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Big money. Jesus
Big
Christ.
money, big
I did roll
money,
under
Taro.
a 6 in every die.
Aw.
So you are in good standings. So, various moments of you taking your swings, and then 6 of them are straight attacking you. Go for their stings, go for slashes, and every single time you seem to duck, dodge out of the way, and use your light hammer to block the attacks on a couple of them as they try to slash at you. And then you use the momentum of you blocking to, like, bump one wasp against the other to keep it from hitting you as it goes in for stings. There is one left, and it's going to try to go after Valahalaru. And, of course, I rolled a 12 on the die, plus 4. That is a hit. Oh no. Yeah, and his AC is like not good to stop that. That's unfortunate, because that means that he's going to be taking, doesn't take too much damage, 4 piercing damage, as Valahalaru is trying to concentrate to get you guys out of here. He takes a sting from one of these wasps, the last one in the line of defense. It is then Go's turn just before Valahalaru's, and what she's going to do, because she is level 15, she's going to do Wind Wall, and that should help. So Wind Wall, you create a wall of air 50 feet long, 15 feet high, and 1 foot thick that shapes the wall of a 15-foot circle around you, or as a straight line. So she's creating a wall of wind around you and Valahalaru as she spends her whole turn here, circling her hands above her head, creating this giant wall of wind that looks almost like you are standing in the middle of a tornado. Each creature in the area must make a strength saving throw or take 3d8. Ooh boy. For fun, I want Aiden to roll me, if you have them ready, or we can do it individually, 6 or 7 strength saving throws.
6 or 7 strength saving throws? What's the bonus?
Strength saving throws. Bonus is just going to be 0.
2, 7, 4. Whoop, that one fell on the ground. 8, 7. One more. Damage. 20.
Okay, so one of them passed, the rest fail. That is super fortunate for you guys.
The one that fails, all of them except for one.
All of them except for 1. That's still better than nothing.
True that.
So all that failed take a 3d8. I want one of you to roll me a just pure luck check.
Okay. 3.
Okay, so the one that passes is the one that Taro hurt already. They all take 21 damage, except for the one that's saved. It only takes, because we round up, 11 damage, which still kills them. All 7 die because they were all caught in the wind wall.
Yay!
That's super good.
Do spirits bleed? Do we get
They do
hit by
not.
blood?
No, these
Okay.
these
Thank
things
God.
just fade into a spiritual energy before just as though it's evaporating into the air.
To the ether.
Yeah, the ether.
In that case, Valhalaru, I need you, aka Jaeger, to roll me a Constitution check with disadvantage.
So it's I got a 12 and a nat 1.
You know what that means?
It was
no.
nice knowing you, Taro.
There's no success.
Another round.
There is another round that goes, but because they were all killed in one turn, you and her have just a free turn right now. So you can do any you don't really have any features or anything like this, but we did say in the 3 months between book 1 and book 2 you have proficiency with your gun. So if you want to get that ready, you can, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna ready an action to shoot the wasp when they break the wall.
Awesome. All 7 of them don't go because they're all dead for right now. Go. She can keep this up for a little bit longer. She can keep this up for a full minute, actually. That's super good. So as she is whipping up this tornado, she says, I can keep this up for a little bit longer. Valhalaru, do what you need to do. And for the sake of ease, because of Windwall, this will be adjusted because I think that's a bit too much. Jaeger, aka Valhalaru, make, I'll say for fun, 6 more Constitution checks.
Okay. Okay. Do you just want to hear the highest one, or
Any of them that pass a 10.
4 of them pass a 10?
Super dope. Because as she's sitting here, focusing her energy on this wind wall, and Taro, you see this mental strain on her head as she's doing this. Because you do remember just before all of these attacks happened, she was pierced by one of the stingers. One of them came flying at her and pierced her in the shoulder. So you see physical strain in her face as she's continuing Windwall. But finally, Valhalaru is able to hold concentration, and he opens his eyes immediately, and the little antennae that stick between his eyes stick up, much like how Stitch has the little antennae that kind of stick on his back and up his head a little bit. Valhalaru has that very same thing. And he grabs you by the hand, Taro, and looks at you and says, Radl.
Let's go!
And
Bye, go!
And as he begins to send you and himself out of the spirit world back to where you came from, she turns back at you and smiles. And just as she does so, she dispels Windwall. And you hear pow, as she takes a bullet in the chest as you dissipate into the bridge world where Valhalaru had you before.
What? Who shot her?
You make it back into the world. Everything is in this painted mishmash of white and black. The scene that was here, that was in standstill before you got there, is completely gone. And Valhalaru just walks out into an empty space, and he just holds his head a little bit and goes,
What? Did you hear that?
It sounded like a gun.
I don't like that.
How do we... I know we're spirits right now, but can we get her help?
I'm not a fighter. Are you a fighter without your spirit powers?
My bending?
Yeah.
I mean, not particularly. Kind of.
We are not going to be any help to her. Not like this.
and he just kind of like gestures to his body and then your body.
Well, can we send someone in to help her?
There's only one thing that I think we can do.
And that is...
And he grabs you and just blinks, and you wake up. You're inside of a tent. But the same thing that's happened before, where you were dealing with this last time with your sister, I need you to make 3 Constitution checks for me. because of how much stamina you've used, because of the chi that you've used, this DC will be set at 18.
Okay.
We're going to start with 3 for now.
Okay, so 14 plus 5 is 19. 6 plus 5 is 11. 8 plus 5 is 13.
So 2 fails. Alright, roll them again to see if you can get either 3 successes or 3 fails. You've got 1 success, 2 fails currently.
Oh, you know what? I rolled a d12 instead of a d20 for one of them. Okay, I'll just re-roll that one. That was a 16 plus 5.
Awesome, that's a success.
Okay.
So I need one
Might
more.
be.
The next one determines if you fail or succeed this.
I'll do this one. Ooh, that one!
Great.
Taro, you wake up today and your heart is not beating.
Oh, great.
And you're hyperventilating a little bit as you wake up. The sun is just coming out of the tent. Jaeger and Kevin, you have just, depending on how you guys feel, have either been up for a little bit or have just woken up and are preparing yourselves to get the reward for winning redemption. You hear Taro in her bed, gasping for air, jolted herself up. Taro, mechanically, you start the day with 1 failed death save.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, I just dropped my pencil.
I'm immediately running to Taro and try to heal her.
Awesome. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Do you have, like, cure or minor... What is it? Minor...
Lesser restoration?
Yeah, that one.
I do. And I'm going to
Awesome.
use that on her.
Yep, absolutely. You spend that stamina, and Taro, as you feel this water get pulled out of one of the water skins and just kind of gets placed over top of you from Kevin, you're able to finally make it out. Like, your eyes were hazy, you were still in this dreamscape, and as they're clearing up, you look over and you see Kevin is already over you, standing by your bedside with water surrounding his hands and this bluish glow as he's hanging them over your chest, and suddenly your heart starts to beat.
Okay, that's one way to start the morning. How you feeling, Taro?
Why are you so wet?
What?
I'm just blinking my eyes like, wait, what just happened?
And I want to ask Jaeger and Kevin, what were you two doing just before she bolted away? Because it's been, for you guys, you just woke up. It's been a couple of hours. The sun is, well, I mean, technically this is the fall, so the sun takes a little bit longer to rise, but you're starting to see some of the sun creep over the roof of your tents.
Would Kevin be trying to convince me to put clothes on? Or are we
Yes.
talking about the tactile advantages of fighting without clothes?
Mm-hmm.
But, that's what I think happened. I don't know what.
Yeah. It's like, please don't fight nude ever again. Your junk almost came off, and I had to heal that last night.
Cue jazz music.
Why are you naked?
What?
Put your clothes back on, please.
Where?
There is a lady here. The lady is
Mhm.
me. Please put those back on.
I just tossed a towel, kind of like tossed a blanket at Jaeger, like, please, cover up.
I can't believe I'm still naked.
You sleep in the nude, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you just rhymed like a poet. Did you know that?
No. What did I rhyme?
No, not you.
What?
The other one. The wet one.
The other. Yeah,
Taro?
why are you wet?
I was just healing you, Taro, since your heart stopped.
Oh, did it? I was just in a dream.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about this dream.
What was
Oh.
wrong?
Some breakfast.
Master Go's dying, by the way. In case you didn't
Wait,
know.
what?
Yeah, someone shot her.
What makes you?
I was
sick?
in a painting.
What? It was. You got that from a dream?
Yes. I talked to the mysterious frog we all know and love. His name is Valhalla Halaru.
I
Well,
don't.
how are you?
Valhalla, are you doing? Anyway, Master Go's dying.
What?
I don't know how to get there.
Let's make a couple of phone calls. And Would I even know where the closest phone is, DM?
There's definitely not one down here in the Great Divide. But as you're saying that, Kevin, you hear, and all of you hear this, including Aiden, you hear the announcer speaking, and it's at this point when you already begin to hear the crowd.
All right, it's the day 2 of the show.
As they're saying that, Aiden, let's cut to you. How early does Aiden wake up? Because I think this is our first morning with Aiden.
Aiden wakes up late, unless it's an important event, and since we had already, forfeited last night, Aiden would be sleeping in, so it would probably be about, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning when Aiden would finally be like, okay, I'm up, where's my coffee?
Okay. Well, 9 o'clock is a little bit before when the announcement came up. So you've got a little bit of time, not really quite fully an hour. But you got some time to get yourself ready, possibly get yourself a cup of coffee over at the big tent where you guys had dinner at last night. And Taco is still sound asleep. If there's one thing that you wish you could change about Taco, it's the fact that his sleep schedule is just so awful. He never wakes up before 1.
On this day, I'm irritated, so I go over and I push him off his cot.
Wow! And he falls down, landing on the ground with a hard thud. And he goes, "What was that for?"
Well, for starters, it's time for you to get up.
I still got 5 hours.
Yes, but I'm leaving today, in case you forgot.
And he starts rubbing his eye, trying to rub the sleep out, and he goes, What are you talking? Oh, the whole lack of bending thing, that's right.
Yeah. The thing the White Lotus are responsible for?
Speaking of that, Aiden, I need you to roll me something. I need you to roll me Constitution. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
23?
That's a pass. So when you wake up this morning, you feel a tinge of that gate, the door that's blocking your bending. You feel like you're making progress towards opening it. And go ahead and mark that on your character sheet, because this only happens at the beginning of every day when you wake up.
Okay.
So you've got 1 success in unlocking your bending without the use of anybody else persuading it.
Okay.
But Torque still Taco. Taco still rubs his eye and goes,
last night?
Yeah, unfortunately, without any June, we don't have a third party.
I am so sorry about all of this.
It's totally fine. We are bound to lose our streak eventually, and he just says that with a big smile on his face.
I punch him in the shoulder. Don't worry, as soon as I get my bending back, I'll be back.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it, and he punches you in the shoulder for 2 damage. Just kidding.
Alright.
It's at there. It's at this moment when you hear the announcer say that they, time to declare the winner or stuff like that. You hear a little bit more, and all of you hear this because that bit kind of almost happened at the same time. You hear the announcer say,
Due to an unfortunate forfeit, we have ourselves a winner already for round 2.
and all of you have a chance to really react to this because you all hear this at the same time.
Oh, Taro, we got lots to talk about.
Talk about what?
Oh, while you were sleeping, events happened last night.
Like?
Remember that waterbending, girl that was on the other team?
It was like a month ago. No, I don't.
You're not you if you don't have your coffee.
Coffee. That sounds so good right now.
Taro, you see a floating cup of coffee float out of the tent. As you say
I start walking toward it.
I'm just looking. I'm just gonna guide Taro to the big tent so she can get some coffee and some food in her system.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin, as you make your way out, Aiden, would this be about the time that you walk out of your tent? Because Taco would be walking out. He already knows, like, when the announcement is called, that means that the game is pretty much over.
Yes, I would have been getting dressed as I was talking to Taco and everything else like that. So about that time frame, I would be coming out of the tent to go get my own coffee.
Okay. Kevin and Aiden, you guys kind of bump into each other almost as Taco is walking by, and just gives you, Kevin, a friendly wave as he's walking over to like a good 30 to 40 feet away from the main like the tent that you guys ate at last night, and stands at a particular spot with a referee there.
I give a respectful, like a respectful wave back. Come on, Taro. That coffee call is calling your name.
Yeah, Taro, are you following Kevin to this big tent?
Only if he holds my hand.
I am. I'm
Yes.
holding your hand so I can take you to the big tent. You need food and coffee.
In
Thank
that
you.
case, Aiden, you see both Taro and Kevin approaching the tent on the opposite direction as you.
I acknowledge their presence. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling?
I'm highly pissed off that I am unable to bend. I'm annoyed that I have to leave my home, and I'm irritated that I have to travel with White Lotus.
So not a really good morning.
This bozo has to hang out with us now? She's
Let's just
looking
say
at
she
Kevin.
had an interesting start today.
I need my coffee before we do anything.
Coffee.
And congratulations on your technical win. And I say that sarcastically.
Thanks.
Can I punch
That's
him in
okay.
the face?
No, you gotta go get
Roll.
your coffee.
Do you really want to?
I do.
Oh, I love it. Okay, all right, this is awesome. Roll me an attack roll.
Do
Oh,
I
no.
add anything to it if I'm just straight up socking him?
As your proficiency bonus.
I got a nat 1. Never mind.
All right, play this out for me, guys.
Oh God.
Tara's like, shut your face. You're so annoying. And she tries to swing at him and very obviously misses.
Oh my goodness. I was like,
As I see Taro's fist coming at me, I just simply sidestep and look at Taro like she had lost her mind.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I am sorry.
Hey,
Now
guess
I
what?
see why one of you died.
At least I have my bending. She finger guns and
I go to
smack.
smack Taro.
Roll to attack.
Oh, this is gonna end right now as I'm using calm emotions.
Oh,
16.
roll. Okay. Roll initiative. See which one goes first, Kevin or Aiden.
9,
That's a 19.
14.
Oh, Kevin
20,
definitely
22.
goes first. So, Kevin, you spent another stamina because you did a stamina on Taro.
Yeah.
You spent another stamina to cast Calm Emotions. What does Aiden need to do?
Make me a charisma saving throw.
Oh, I love this. This is great.
Charisma saving?
Yep.
10.
You fail. You are nice and you are calm. Everything is right with the world.
You know what? You are absolutely right, Earthbender girl. I did lose my bending last night, and you are absolutely right. Yes. You got me there. Congratulations.
Kevin is
Thank
thinking, I'm gonna need something a lot stronger than coffee to get me through this day.
Jaeger, where are you in all of this?
I was nearby.
You were walking out a comfortable 20 feet away the whole time.
No.
Just as an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
All right. Kevin, when you walk through the door, they've got coffee and looks like they ordered a lot of McDonald's, so you're seeing a lot of the hash browns and the chicken biscuits and the chicken biscuits with egg and the sausage biscuits, sausage McGriddles.
Sausage
I don't
egg
know what it is.
McMuffin.
Yeah, roll me a
God.
d20. See if they have that.
Oh,
14.
They have
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
And immediately after everyone steps in, Aiden sees all this food and sits down to go munch on some food and drink some coffee. What did the three of you do?
Gave me some coffee and asked, "Do you have some whiskey? Because I need this coffee to be a little strong."
Roll me a persuasion check because it's like 9 in the morning.
Considering what I just went through, yeah, I need that. That would be 18 plus 3, so 21.
What would you want them to have, Kevin, Mr. Over 20 DC?
Just a little, like a little airplane bottle of whiskey, like like that little, like we don't normally hand this out to people.
Okay. All right. So the person that's manning the food, I guess, looks at you and then looks around a little bit and leans forward and like gestures for you to lean forward. And they go, "All right, I think I have just the thing for you, and this goes perfect with some coffee." And back for a little bit of the tent. They go through the back flap, and you hear them rustle through some stuff, and then they go back through the back flap. They come up, and they've got some coconut-flavored Godiva, and they pour some of it into your coffee, and they say, "Treat this like it's cream, and you'll have the best morning ever."
You're a lifesaver.
I know.
And I am adding this creamer to my coffee, because if I got to keep these two from killing each other, I need this.
Mm-hmm. As for the other two, what are you two doing?
Taro's pulling a Jaeger and eating everything in sight.
And is Jaeger pulling a Jaeger?
I have a strong sense that booze was just distributed.
Your booze senses are tingling.
Roll me a perception check. See if your nose hairs can detect the booze.
Oh my god.
19.
Oh my
Yep,
God.
you smelled the Godiva in the air.
I follow it.
You see him floating off of the ground like cartoon style, floating his way over to the Godiva, and the man that had it like hides it under the table or something, and looks over at you, Jaeger, and goes, "Yes, is there something I can give you?"
I pull out my scimitar.
No.
Give me
Right now.
intimidation. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Without hesitation, he hands you the bottle.
Oh my God.
So put in your inventory, you have a bottle of Godiva, coconut flavor.
I have
Frog, that was really dangerous.
So anyway, you guys hear the announcer through the tent flap.
Any second now, the players will come out onto the stadium floor and show themselves to win the trophy, aka the champion belt.
Come on, let's go.
I get up and get out.
I follow Mr. Jaeger.
And I'm following Tara.
As you guys follow, Aiden, is there anything that you want to say to these three champions of redemption?
No, not really. I'm just gonna glare at them.
Okay. So you are getting
Can I blow a
glares
kiss at him?
You are getting a glare from Aiden, and Taro blows a kissy kiss. And you walk through the front flap. You make your way a good 20-30 feet to where one of the other referees are standing, to where they slam their foot down, and the pillar of earth that you're standing on rises up to the top. When it does, you are standing next to the announcer, and he goes, well, we have here the team, and he puts the microphone in front of Jaeger for you to announce the name of the team.
I take the microphone and I cough.
We're the Cajun Fry.
And then I give it back.
And the announcer goes,
Wonderful! And we've got ourselves the champion, the first-time champion, and the underdog of today, the Cajun.
and he leans into Jaeger and goes, Singular or plural?
Oh, baby, you know it's singular.
The Cajun Fry!
And the crowd is going insane, and as it does so, you've got the announcer, someone standing next to them. They hand them the belt, and they hand it over to each one of you. Roll me a d20. See which one gets handed the belt.
14.
I got a 14.
14.
All right, so it sounds like Jaeger got the highest one.
Man, it's too bad I couldn't roll like this for...
I rolled a 14 too.
But you both rolled a 14?
Okay, rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, roll off.
13.
So he hands it over to Kevin, the one person who didn't need this, by the way. Hands over the champion belt. And you
How heavy is this thing?
This is about like 5 pounds worth of that belt. It looks a lot like the belt that was in the last Airbender that Toph had at the end of the Earthbending Arena competition thing. It looks a lot like that, but at the very center is the circular emblem that looks like it was attached to it. So, like, if you could pull it off and put it on a necklace, it looked like an amulet. But in the dead center of this circle here is just one giant swirl that starts in the dead center and swirls out slowly, but cuts deep towards the very end to make the outline of this, what could be amulet within the center. Right after that, you see 5 different pieces of gems, each one a different color. You see the red, blue, green, yellow, and then just like a pure white that represents benders and non-benders. And this is what is handed over to you. It's called the champion belt. And he kind of like gestures for you to raise it up into the sky.
I'll raise it up to the sky.
Everybody else give me more cheers.
Cajun Fry! Oh, just me?
Good enough. And Kevin and the rest of you, mechanically, this is actually a magical item. Whoever wears the belt gets a +1 to AC. In addition, everybody in the party, during a short rest, can regain chi points.
Yeah. I'm going to give this to Jaeger because my AC looking good. He needs it more.
The chi points given is equal to the Mancer modifier of the wearer times 2. Now that is one central pool. So Jaeger, what is your Mancer modifier?
3.
So 3 times 2. There are 6 chi points inside the champion belt at the beginning of every day. And Kevin, as you are holding this up and then you pass it over to Jaeger, both of you get the sensation. Taro, roll me an Arcana check or a religion check.
My religion is better, so with that, wow, 4 plus 4, 8.
That still meets the DC, because the DC was very low for you in particular. You get a glimmer, a tiny glimmer of blue energy from this belt. But as it's handed over to Jaeger, Jaeger then rises it up and everybody starts cheering and the announcer goes,
In addition, they will also win the 200 gold of choice.
and the person next to the announcer comes over and has a clipboard that asks like what kind of currency you guys would like that in. Go ahead and give that to me real quick.
And we're headed to the New Earth Kingdom. So
The New Earth Kingdom coin.
So,
or are
New
we?
Earth Kingdom currency.
Yeah.
But she's writing it down in her clipboard, and the announcer goes,
And so ends the game of redemption for the year.
and everybody starts cheering, going crazy, though it doesn't sound as wild as before, almost as though they kind of are disappointed that it's ending so soon. They didn't necessarily announce why it's ending soon, but everybody knows that it is.
I noticed this, and I want to conjure a sphere of fire in my hands as a symbol, I guess, of like hold it over my head with the belt. And something.
No, no, not on the belt. Let's put the belt on your waist. Yeah,
No. This is awesome.
One hand and the belt on the other.
You perform Produce Flame and tell me exactly what this looks like.
It is a giant flame from my hands, and it stays there till I don't want it to be, and it's a bright light. Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if I add that in this flame you shape it to where it looks like a giant fry?
Yes. 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 Dude, yes.
That's so great.
I make a fry fire. The Cajun
So you make
fire.
You make a cake fire. And Aiden, you are standing in the ground level of the Great Divide, and you are watching this whole event with Taco next to you. Is there anything going on in your mind?
Yeah, no. Aiden would, like, not have anything to say. He's just upset that the whole situation went down the way it did.
But one thing I want to ask the three of you, putting you guys into perspective, in reality, this is a bittersweet victory, right? Because you didn't directly... In fact, you lost the first round, right? But you guys are still the victors. Jaeger and Kevin, you guys were introduced to a character, a person who is a direct conflict with your group, but is telling you that you are working for them. Taro, you've been in a dream state all night. You dealt with the fact that you have this sensory vision that you're not fully aware of what it is. And as you were leaving that scape, Go got shot.
Frustration. We just keep losing, like recently. Aside from the giant demon, it just, I don't know. It's frustration, I guess.
Kevin.
So much has been going down, and we don't even know what is going on. It's just it's like it seems so random. At the same time, it's where do we start really looking at?
Taro feels pretty powerless, especially because she was just in the spirit world where she couldn't bend, and being a bender was all she was ever taught to do as a child. And now her mentor type person is being shot by a gun, and she can't do anything about it because she's nowhere near a spirit portal.
And on top of that, do you know what the next closest big city is to you right now?
Shaokai. I don't think she's ready for that.
We see the landscape of the world around us come into focus. The sounds of distant creatures emanating a tune not unlike what we've heard for the last 3 months. Or has it been 4? Maybe 5. Who truly remembers anymore? Time seems to warp to your own perception of it here in the spirit world. One of the vines holding a floating island close to the main ground lets go of the soil as it swats away some small bug-like spirits. As it does this, that island begins to drift away to its own devices as if freed from a tethered grip. The rest of the plants nearby lay dense but lively in their own comforts. Shifting through the brush, we find ourselves viewing 3 figures putting away tattered and patched tents, snuffing out the fire, still foggy-eyed from just waking up, collecting their resources and preparing for yet another day's travel. These 3 figures are Honu, Dag, and Ruby. Honu, would you like to describe what you're doing in this camp and what you look like as we are peering into this little site that you guys have been packing up?
Honu is currently
Take 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I was not prepared to go first.
Yeah, that's what that D20 was for.
Ah,
surprise, surprise. It was initiative, guys. Haha. All right, so Ruby.
I wasn't prepared.
Ruby, would you like to describe your character and what you're doing in the camp?
In the camp, I am pretty much cooking. Pretty much cooking up some breakfast because being in the spirit world, we get hungry.
Okay, and what do you look like?
Ruby's about 5'5", with long black hair, reddish brown eyes, kind of petite, still in great shape, but just looking like she could really want to buy something else. Because she's still wearing the same clothes that she came in with. Want a new pair of clothes so badly.
Yeah. That is true. Like, Ruby's been here for, a year now? Wearing the same stuff? You know, it's gotta really eat at her a little bit.
I want a new pair of clothes! And some new shoes!
Ruby yells as she's cooking up dinner as Dak. What are you doing, and what do you look like? Hearing that from across your little camp.
Well, first off, Dag dismisses that because he's definitely heard that from Ruby before, on a daily basis, probably. But yeah, so Dag's someone of average height, very muscular. Right now, he probably has long black hair. It's very loosely tied back with maybe a piece of twine, and most of his hair is kind of fallen out of that tie. He's shirtless right now, revealing probably a handful of tattoos across his torso, and his pants are a tattered mess. Because again, clothing's probably hard to come by in the spirit world.
Absolutely.
And what he's up to right now, if Ruby is cooking, he's boxing a spirit tree. Bare knuckle punching this tree, building up, probably hurting his hands, but building up calluses. This has probably been something he's been doing for, the 7 months we've been in the spirit world?
Yeah, it definitely has been feeling like 7 months. It's been a little too long since you've been away from home, hasn't it?
Yeah, and he's probably not fought another human being in a very long time. I can't imagine him having skirmished with anyone in the party too much, especially if you've been here for 7 months. Maybe a little at first if anyone wanted to skirmish, but we've probably been mostly fighting spirits, and that just doesn't hit the same way people do.
That's right. What you think about as you're punching this tree. You mentioned some tattoos. What do they look like, actually? I'm personally curious.
Yeah, I'm picturing just tribal tattoos. Honestly, okay. He is a sandbender, so there's a little bit of Earth Kingdom lineage there. I'm not particularly sure if there's any cool designs that might fit into that, or any I could gangs see from the area.
I could see a tribal badger mold or something.
Yeah, all right. I'm into it. Yeah, just a tribal tattoo of the face of a badger mole. Maybe on his back shoulder blade.
And Honu, you're hearing these bare knuckles punching into this tree as the tree begins to shift, almost as if it's annoyed at the punches, as it literally uproots itself out of the ground and starts moseying away.
No, fight back, you coward! Come back here!
And you hear Dag say this as you're in camp, telling us what you look like and what you're doing in here.
Alright, so Honu is about 5'6", pretty average build. His brown hair, since they've been in here, and he hasn't really cut it currently down to his shoulders, and his beard a little out scruffy, and just watching Dag try to fight the tree just not having his... Dag, stop fighting everything around us, leave them alone, they don't want to.
Yeah, Dag's not gonna keep chasing this tree, just one final punch as it meanders away before he just gives up. Because it's not fighting back, so what's the point?
Sure. And Honu, you've been dealing with that for the last 11 months, maybe close to 12 at this point. It's definitely gotten old. And Honu, as you are yelling at Dag, and Dag is yelling at a tree before just swatting away and heading over to the food, you look over, hearing some noises through the brush and the trees. But the thing is, you don't really seem worried at this noise. Rather, you're more surprised as a fourth human zooms towards you guys on an air glider. They come to a stop near the center of this makeshift camp right next to Ruby, landing down, having made short work of the scouting this region. And this morning, a small sugar glider spirit pops its head out from Tomon's shirt, as Tomon tells us what he looks like.
So Tomon is definitely tall, probably around 6'5", 6'6"-ish. You can tell he was raised by airbenders because he does have like the airbender tattoos, and actually does keep his head shaved, even though he really hasn't been with them for, well, even before the 7 months that he thinks he's been in the spirit world. He hadn't seen them for probably at least a year, because he had taken up as the way of the traveler and has just been traveling around. So for him, it's a little weird, but the spirit world isn't that much different than traveling in the regular world.
Absolutely. And our four characters here, all sitting in the camp. Honestly, though, you guys have been with each other for, some would say 7, some would say 12 months. At the end of the day, these four strangers are stuck in this unknown territory. Though not much different from traveling around the material world, not all of you were travelers. Not all of you know about the spirits. But all of you know you're stuck here until you find a way out. Or something. But Tomon, you have made short scouting work this morning as you came across something highly unusual, with a mark that looked very familiar to you. That little sugar glider head popped out of your clothing, looks to the rest of the party, and says, "Oh my gosh, I'm actually going to let you guys hear Karamaki's voice."
Oh.
It looks to you guys and says,
Hey now, everybody listen up. We found some crazy things going on outside this, our little tent here.
and then looks up at you, Tomon, and goes,
Go ahead, tell them.
And Tomon, as you were scouting around the area, there was something that really caught your eye that was highly unusual. This is the first time you've seen, I guess you can call it, well, yeah, a structure. But you saw a structure sticking out as if pasted onto a tree. You saw a top half of what looked like a watchtower. You saw a tattered white lotus flag dangling from the top of this tower, sitting inside of this tree.
Huh.
Which is probably what you said when you were flying and scouting and saw that.
Like, I know that the White Lotus would be interested in the spirit world, but I wouldn't necessarily know that they've got to have or ever had a watchtower in the spirit world.
That checks out.
How far away was the watchtower?
It was a short distance. For the rest of this party, it was like Tomon has been gone for maybe 10 minutes.
Well, if we've got nothing better to do, we might as well check it out today.
Alright.
You said there was a flag on it?
Yeah, a White Lotus flag.
Oh, well, look at that, Ruby. You can use that as a piece of clothing. At the very...
It beats a blank.
Say that again, what?
It beats a blank.
It beats a blank?
Mm-hmm.
Is that short for blanket?
It's short for nothing. It beats nothing.
Okay. Okay. I was super confused. I was like, I feel like I heard this right, but I was not sure.
I feel my southernness is being attacked a bit.
How dare you, Frog?
I know, I'm sorry. I am shamed. Let me walk out the room. Dag, you got the rest of this.
No, alright. So I'm just gonna rip my way out of the spirit world, alright? So
Alright.
I've had about enough of this.
He Kool-Aid to somebody's house.
Yeah. Seriously though, I think Dag will just like kip up, assuming he had like crouched to start eating whatever food Ruby was cooking. But at this prospect of like doing something new and different, and seeing something potentially man-made, and potentially some people, yeah, I think Dag's on board.
Sure. That does bring up a good point though. Ruby, what are you cooking this morning?
I'm assuming that we had some rations, so whatever rations we had, because I know one of us is a vegetarian, so probably more like some oatmeal. Right, okay. It's pretty much like oatmeal with some berries, with some berries in it.
That checks out, and I know you have a kind of cooking background, so I'm not going to make you roll to see how good it is. You guys, it sounds like you sit down for a moment, or at least Dag does, eats this delicious, hasn't had it for months, oatmeal, or anything like that, before preparing to scout forward, it sounds like, everybody?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For sure.
So you guys finish packing everything up and decide to head towards the direction that Taman was gesturing where you just came from. You guys begin to move through the brush and the flora here off to the side. One of you scouts out this looks like a tiny apple tree, as it looks like 4 or 5 little spirits, looks like flying bunnies almost, all center onto this tree that has what looks like a golden apple sitting on one of its stems. But you guys are all too familiar with this. You know, it's all just a trick of the spirit world. You've seen this more than once, as this tree gets engulfed by the body of a giant Venus flytrap looking thing. It then uproots itself out of the ground with these leaves that flip upside down and carry itself away, flying like Tails from Sonic does by spinning its leaf-like appendages that turns out to be wings as it flies away, munching on the spirits that it has trapped inside of it. You see other various things like that. Honu, you come across the same old familiar sand trap that you found some time ago. This looks like a whole other spirit that's here, but you already know. That's not sand you can play around with. That's quicksand. You were in there once or twice, maybe even 3 times before. Shamefully, regretfully admit 3 times. Getting trapped by trying to steal some of the sand, according to the spirit that resides in places like that. You guys continue forward until eventually you come across what Taman's talking about. There's this clearing in this foresty-like area of this giant oak tree that seems to be shaped the way a bonsai tree would be, but it's got like oak leaves. Its bark twists around itself, much like I said with a bonsai tree. You guys even look a little bit further ahead and realize half of the roots are kind of like hanging off, as you realize, just like around you, you've seen a number of times, the rock that you guys are standing on is actually just yet another giant floating island. Off to the distance, you do see another large rock, floating rock that seems to have some vines that could reach, maybe if you ask them nicely, who knows, to be able to form some kind of bridge to where you guys are. But that's a little less important than seeing this man-made White Lotus tower, or at least you can assume so, 30-degree tilt, as though it was just pasted onto the side of this tree. It looks like it is still in, if not for the fact that it was inside of a tree, mint condition. and everything around you seems to be still as these 4 humans walk up to it.
You don't see that every day.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think towers are usually built at that angle.
I can see you saying that, and all 4 of you tilt your head 30 degrees.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
Right. So we're going inside there, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Okay. Let's go.
You guys begin walking up to this tree. You start kind of climbing on some of it to get to the tower. And as you do so, you feel a shifting in the ground under you, a shifting in the tree. As the tree begins to twist itself, and you guys kind of move out of the way to keep from getting hit from any of the branches that may be hanging nearby, as it turns, and you see this face form out of the bark of this tree, eyes closed. The face looks a lot like the Great Deku Tree from Ocarina of Time is the easiest way I could describe it. And it looks over to you guys just having stopped. And you've seen trees with faces before, so it's not as surprising. But it must have been asleep or something. As it turns and looks at you guys, and it just goes.
I think Toman, who's probably the best versed in dealing with spirits there, is going to issue an apology and say, sorry, we didn't realize that you were a spirit tree, but we noticed a tower up in your branches.
And it begins to twist as if it's trying to look at its own back and obviously can't. And it tries this for a brief period before it turns back to you and says,
"So that's what that is."
Do you know how it got there or how long it's been there? Would you allow us to see what's in the tower?
And it bends itself a little bit. It can't do too much, but it bends itself a little bit. So now the tower's maybe 25 degrees. And it says, and then it reaches some of its limbs down to kind of create this way that you guys can walk up the limbs to get up to the tower more easily.
Nice. Dag gives the tree the old finger gun salute, and we'll march on up to the tower.
We just look at this yep, another day in the spirit world.
Yeah, you begin climbing up. You say another day in the spirit world, and you look over, you see that flying Venus flytrap just spit out cartoon skulls as it continues to fly off even further. Yep, that's pretty normal. You realize that this tower is the top third of the tower. So to get inside, you would have to crawl up to the tower outlook and then go in from there, because it doesn't seem to actually even have an opening. Or if there is one, it is in the tree. Yeah. But I can totally see you guys just climb up.
I was gonna say, do we have any rope or something with us? Or have we made any ropes from any vines or something we found over the last 7 months.
We all should have either adventurers packs on us. So usually adventurers pack normally will have rope.
Yeah, you guys totally would have rope then, yeah. I think all of you, when I was looking at your characters, character sheets, all of you had like adventurer packs or something similar.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to reach it might be to just have Tuman take out his air glider and fly to the top and drop a rope down.
Yeah, and you have Karamaki in your clothes just say,
Oh yeah, I really like it when we go flying.
Too cute.
Who you calling a cutie? Huh?
Like I said, you're too cute.
I'll let it slide this time, bub.
But yeah, Taman, you fly yourself up. So go, yeah, I'll describe kind of what you see. You have to kind of position yourself a little bit. This isn't clearly level ground, and you do still feel the tree shifting slightly. So you have to constantly keep being on your toes and correcting your position here. But the inside of this tower, despite the angle, everything looks like it was perfectly placed. Like nothing has slid around or anything, almost like it has been glued to the floor of this outlook peak. But you find a spot that you're able to tie up this rope and kind of just flop it over the edge, which by the shift of gravity, the rope hangs at the 25-degree angle, same like the tower.
Huh. Is it hanging at an angle that anybody could reach the rope?
Oh yeah, I think you got 50 feet of rope or something like that. You at the very least, with enough people having the rope, you can totally just tie more rope together so you guys can climb up. It's not too strenuous for you guys to get up there with that, especially with the amount of rope that all of you have.
Altogether, that would be 200 feet of rope.
And Taman, as you tie this up, go ahead and roll me a perception check while you're waiting for your crew to kind of climb this rope. I'll get to you guys in a second.
That would be a 16.
Okay. So inside this tower's outlook, you see, there's a table here, there's some chairs, a bookshelf lined with what looks like scrolls. Some of them have been written in. You don't see any evidence of human activity, though, which is weird. Like, everything is still a little too perfectly placed. And as you start kind of looking through the bookshelf, looking at all these scrolls, you're realizing a couple of dates that date back to like 20 or 30 years ago of, this outpost. And everything that it's talking about is in reference to, they sent out a message to other White Lotus towers, the rumors of spirits in trouble, or a local town in the material world needing help or something like that, and sentries having been sent out, and these are all just like reports of that, just to keep records. But a few of the things that you notice off on the table looks to be some letters that were never sent, even though they look like they were ready for it. As if, say, as an example, a messenger hawk just wasn't there to deliver them just yet. And it has the White Lotus mark on them. They're already closed or anything like that, so I can't tell you what's in them unless you open them up. For the rest of you guys, while Taman is in here kind of looking at all these progress reports, as soon as you guys grab onto the rope and start climbing, your body naturally shifts to the same angle as though you are climbing straight up a tower.
Okay.
So it feels a little off. Like your brain can't really process, I should be tilting, but I'm not, but I am? Question mark?
Ruby probably at this point just go with it. Just go with it. It's another day in the spirit world. It's another day in the spirit world where nothing makes sense.
Yeah, just remember, don't look down or right or left. Don't look.
Just pull the rope. Just pull the rope. Just go up and pull the rope.
Yeah, you see a little caterpillar right next to you, Ruby, as it's like,
don't look down, just keep moving up this tower.
I'm just going to brush that off and just go. Not hitting the little caterpillar, but like, Just moving forward. before she have another breakdown.
Another one, yeah. When was the most recent breakdown that Ruby had? Was it this morning? About the It's a daily thing.
Yeah, Tamon could even hear that while he was flying back toward the camp.
But yeah, eventually the rest of the party gets in here, and the weird thing is, once you are in the tower outlook, immediately your bodies have to shift again. So, like, gravity just doesn't seem to want to make sense here. Because the second you are standing on your feet, you can tell you guys are at an angle again.
Thank goodness I chose something that sticks to the ribs this morning.
And you see the same stuff that I was telling Tamon about. You see the bookshelves lined with scrolls. Tamon, I was mentioning that you were kind of like looking through them a little bit, seeing that they're just like reports from the material world. Something else that while all of you are in here, you do see some sort of, I don't want to call it a trap door, but it's a door on the floor of this tower that if you opened it, you could start, going down some sort of staircase, as this is a tower, down to what would be the bottom floor if there was one that existed in this tower.
I think Tamon is definitely going to check the letters that were ready to be sent. Is there a specific date on them, and are they addressed to anyone or any place in particular?
So, when you open up the letters, you do see a date. You see it's dated for, like, the third month of the year, some day in there, like, month 3, day, I don't know, like 4 or something. Year 8, 188 AG, and it basically says something like, it's basically saying, that's good news, glad to hear of our request being approved. We will send out local sentries now as I wait for more reinforcements. Once the enlightened sentry comes in, we will also then evaluate what's going on with the spirits nearby. Another letter says, like, shortly after, is like day 6 or 7, is like a couple of days later. It says, like, it's another request, or it sounds like another, even though you don't know what the original one was. Basically saying things are worse than we thought. The activity and the possible rumors of the other Lotus activity seems to have been true. We have been losing our numbers rather quickly, to the point where only one person has made their way back. We will have to abandon this tower, otherwise there may be a risk that everything inside this place gets taken. We are preparing to pack everything up so that the enemies cannot get this. If you have already sent the reinforcements, please do not have them come to this tower, have them come to another, and stuff like that. And they're all labeled Lotus Commander Kuzan.
How long ago, or was there a war 20 or 30 years ago?
Not that you know of. How old is Tamon?
20... Well, was 23, so probably approaching 24 now.
Yeah, you don't remember there ever being word of a war or anything like that. So this is all new and strange.
Yeah, I'm looking around to see if there are any clothes.
Obviously, you notice the flag. You obviously notice the flag. Up here, you don't really spot any clothes. Maybe there are some inside the tower, but nothing up here on the outlook.
I'm going to explore the inner tower. Does anyone want to join me? There could be more resources inside.
Is there anything else to pick through up here? Because it kind of sounds like probably not, outside of the letters that Tamon was going through.
Yeah, if you're interested in the letters and stuff, there seems to be a lot. So if Tamon ever did relay what these things said, it doesn't look like they ever actually did get to packing things up. Because this looks too neat to have been packed up, and there's just too much stuff in here.
Yeah, Tamon definitely will relay sort of the gist of what's in the letter.
Sure. But something else I can try to give you, if you're interested in it, Taman, is if you would give me a history check. Because you may know this.
Let's see, that's a 15.
A 15? These are dated for 188 AG, and you know when you entered the spirit world through that random spirit portal on that mystery island, that was like 225 AG. So it's been quite a while. Another thing, because you grew up with White Lotus a little bit, right, when you were enlightened?
Well, I think it would have been at an airbender temple, so maybe had seen some White Lotus, but
Sure.
not like grew up directly with them.
Okay. Well, then I can tell you this at least. By the time that you heard, or that, when you were living at a White Lotus, at an airbender temple, there may have been word that around this time of year that this letter is, the northern air temples were reconstructed. Because back in Korra's time, when the Red Lotus was around, the lava bender, whose name I can't remember, that was in their party, decimated the northern air temples. So around this time, where this letter has been made, those temples were reconstructed and then repurposed for the White Lotus.
Okay.
But, Ruby, you said that you're heading inside?
Yep.
Hona's gonna go with her.
Okay. As you open up the trap door to see this wooden stairway that leads spiraling down, like a spiral staircase, into the center, all of a sudden, as soon as you open this, the tree begins to shiver, as though it got cold immediately after you opened it, and it goes... And as you look down into this trapdoor, you see it looks like this thing is embedded inside the interior of the tree. And when you open this, it exposes the bare tree, bypassing the bark that surrounds the rest of it. Almost like you just opened a wound, is the best way to put it.
Apparently, this tower is literally fused with you.
Yep, sorry mate, I don't envy you. But Dad goes in.
Sure, you start, making your way down into the tree. Alright, and you feel the body of the tree shivering as you guys continue to step, to where eventually you get to, like, what would be close to the ground floor before it's just almost like it's cut off. As if the bark itself, or the tree itself, is, has started to grow over this tower from the inside.
So there was no rooms, no nothing.
Oh yeah, you wanted clothing. Roll me investigation. See if you can find anything.
That is going to be a nice good 16.
Okay. You don't really see too much. It is a spiral staircase leading down to a ground level that seems to not exist. But, with 16, I can give you something like this. You find a decomposed body. Like, sitting on the stairs as if, it was trying to either go down or go up and couldn't. And eventually passed away here. But you've got your clothes there. They seem to be clothed in some very old-fashioned White Lotus Sentry clothing.
I'm just going to pick up the body and bring it upstairs so everybody else can see what the hell is going on.
And Dag, you give me an investigation. Let's see. See something.
Nat 20. I mean, oh shoot, Nat 20.
Oh, Seth is gonna get his cameo.
I have no modifier, so it's just the 20.
I mean, that's fine. With the nat 20, you find your nose hairs kind of squint a little bit as you sniff around, and you see there's an unharmed keg of cabbage whiskey fused into the wood of this tree, right towards the bottom.
Fused into the tree. All right. Well, beggars can't be choosers.
Oh no! Days like this, we need a water fender.
Yeah, and he'll take it upon himself to be the guinea pig and give a little tasty taste.
It's been a long time. It's been a really long time since you've had this type of burn. A good burn. As you pop open the top, which is pretty much the only part that's exposed of this keg, and take a few gulps. Brings you
Nice.
back.
Yep.
And this is like 30 years old, so it's definitely it's definitely aged.
All right. I'll have another. And he's gonna take effectively a few shots because it's pure alcohol. A 2, 3, maybe 4.
Dump
he has
his
con.
boards again and put
And
that
then
in.
after that, then he'll give out a sharp whistle and be like, "Honu, there's something down here you should see." Because if memory serves, I think Honu was a little bit of a drinker too.
Yes. Honu's gonna make his way over there, over to Dag. What did you find?
A body.
Something better
dragging
than a
his
body.
body up.
Yeah, that's fine, Ruby.
You called me down here for a body?
No, over here.
Oh.
And he'll show Honu the keg.
Yeah, it's further down the stairs from where the body was.
Oh,
and
you're just gonna run, dart over to it and take a couple drinks.
Yep, that's that good old burn.
Yeah, so I say we camp here for the night.
Yep, I'm fine with this.
Well,
And,
I'll be.
yeah.
And as Ruby just goes upstairs.
Honu's gonna actually pat the tree I'm fine with this, or you?
You just feel it shivering and it's saying,
At this point, I'm probably upstairs with the body, with the airbender friend.
Taman, as Honu rushes downstairs, Ruby comes up, lugging a White Lotus body up and plops it on the table.
Found this downstairs.
You just found it like that.
Yeah. Oh, and the boys found alcohol.
Of course they did.
Think the net 20.
Yeah, so I'm plopping on the ground, what did this?
Sure, yeah, give me a medicine check.
Are you good with medicine?
No.
Okay, we're getting ourselves a shot in the dark.
Yeah, we'll see what we know.
14. 13 plus 1.
That beats my 7.
Oh, a 7? You got a whole 7?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Censored.
Okay, so with
I'm
the 14,
that's
Watch
a
your
dead body.
You're right. We can't let Seth in here too long. So with a 14, it's hard to tell, but you can clearly see that this thing has been decomposing for a while now. You don't know how long this tower's been in a tree. You don't know how long this body was there before then. But from what you can tell from the clothes, there seems to be some scorch marks, a couple of cuts in the fabric. The body looks like because of the clothes, you can kind of think, okay, well, there must have been some sort of combat that happened. As to what, it's really hard to tell, but you do see some cuts in the fabric and some singe marks on the clothing, and that's kind of your only indication of anything.
Ruby's looking at this possibly he could have died in combat. Maybe died of his wounds from that combat.
And Karamaki looks and goes,
Wow, you humans really are softies, huh? Getting killed off by a couple little scratches.
And scorch marks. And I'm pointing right here. There are scorch marks as well.
It over-exaggeratedly goes,
Ooh, scorches.
I'm gonna let that one slide, because we're in a freaking tree.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want these hands.
Ruby just locks eyes on him I wonder what does a Brunswick stew taste like.
You hear that, Tomar? Your friend is trying to come at me.
and she look you up and down like, you can't handle this.
That's funny. I was gonna say you can't handle all of this.
Tomon is just gonna facepalm.
Because this is our daily battle. Banter.
Tomon has seen this happen, dozens of times.
Yeah, you know Karamaki to be very sassy.
Okay, I'm gonna check this body and hope with Tomas' help to see is there anything on this body besides the clothing. I'm as tempted as I am for clothing. I'm not that tempted.
Okay. Yeah, give me a D4. And Dag and Honu, how much more are you guys drinking down there?
Well, since we're camping here for the night, we're just doing shots, man.
Okay, because I was gonna ask for some Constitution checks.
I think that's applicable.
Okay, all right, do it up.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And you said you got a 4?
Yeah, it's a 4.
Did we break Ruby already?
No, I'm looking at the glyphs and I'm loving it.
21.
You said 21?
21.
Oh
15.
Yeah, you're both holding your liquor very well, despite having not had any for a year or 7 months.
It's a lot of training.
A lot of drinking.
Yep. It's a life of alcoholism right there.
Your body's saying, I got my water back. I'm home again.
It's like drinking a bike. Yeah.
You always forget.
What?
And Ruby, this body looks to be a firebender. So you'll find the same stuff that you would see off of a firebender. As far as like items, it doesn't seem to have much beyond like the remnants of a water skin that is obviously dry by now or something. Doesn't have any food, doesn't have any notes. It has a White Lotus sash in its pocket that seems to have also been singed one way or another. And while you're looking at that, Tamon, go ahead and give me a perception check to see what you hear. But yeah, that's what you get, Ruby.
Gotcha. I'll take that empty water skin and just pretty much drop it down to Dag and Hanu. It's like, take this. You probably need it more than I do.
Yoink.
That's a 6 on the perception.
Okay. You just hear the shifting and the shivering. Like, you've kind of gotten accustomed to the shivering of the tree at this point. But you're hearing the leaves shifting around a bit more. Not sure if it's getting windy or not.
I'm just looking at Hanu. I think we should leave. I don't think it's going to feel safe any longer. What do you think?
Who are you talking to?
Tomas. Sorry.
Tomon?
Thank you.
Yeah, Tomon is gonna agree that, yeah, probably not a good idea to sleep in a spirit tree in a building that is clearly out of place and the only occupant we found was dead.
Yeah! Let's get out of here. And I hope we know how to drag the boys out. It's heavy enough to bring that thing.
Yeah, you guys are about a quarter of the way through your through this.
That's
barrel.
it. That's it. We slacking.
Do y'all take the empty water skin Ruby dropped to you?
Definitely.
No, it was empty. Why did I want it?
Good one.
Yeah. The water skin's been filled, but like we're still going deep, I think.
Ruby just yelled, "Come on, we're leaving!"
Yeah, we're camping here tonight. Yeah, maybe you missed the memo. So anyways, Hanu, I said to her, if you think I look bad, you should see the other guy. And, well, I broke his nose and gave him 2 black eyes. And, he was doing too great by the time I finished.
You've heard this story like twice.
Yeah. Every time you tell the story, the other time, it was only 1 black eye.
Yeah, now it's all 3 of them were black by the time I was done with them. Let me tell you.
So, all of you give me dexterity checks.
Great.
No,
Oof.
16.
Taman was definitely not paying attention. That's a 1 on the die for a 5.
I got a 15.
I'm blaming it on the alcohol. I got a 10.
Honu's instinct is to cover the top of the alcohol so none of this spills as the tree starts shaking vigorously as if it's trying to get something off of it. Taman, you go flying into one of the bookshelves and everything falls as if it defies gravity straight onto the floor rather than falling 30 degrees. Ruby and Dag, you're able to both catch yourselves as you just feel this vigorous shaking. The rocks around the tower seem to start crumbling down around you guys while you are inside of the tower, inside of the tree, as you hear the tree go.
Ruby yelled down to the boys, "Y'all still want to camp out for the night?"
Thinking about it. Hold on.
More rocks come tumbling
just gonna
down.
wait it. We should probably go.
All right, one more drink.
Okay, one more drink.
You guys
so 2
come
drinks
rushing-
later, we'll leave.
You guys come rushing up the stairs, having filled the water skin at least 2 more times.
Yes.
I'm picking up someone. Like, come on, let's get out of here. And on the way, I'm snatching that flag.
Sure. Yeah, you snatch up a flag to use as, I don't know, patchwork or something later. You guys start trying to go down. Taman, because of the nat 1, I will say that you are prone pretty much.
Yeah.
As you start to feel the tower leaning more than it should, despite the with the shaking, as if it's starting to crumble while you are inside it, and everyone else is starting to get to the rope. Like this tower starting to break. Yeah, the tower's starting to break apart and crumble. Dag, Honu, you guys, I don't want to say stumble, but you guys find your way to the rope. Ruby, do you help your ally get up at the very end?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys got some good dexterity checks, but I want to get one more roll from you guys. Given the situation, give me another dex check.
All right.
This one was better.
Here's hoping I don't do worse.
24.
That's 12
It's a little better.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a dirty 20 for Taman.
Cool.
Yeah, 12.
Alright. You guys all get out of the tower in time. Taman, you pull out your glider and just start flying. Ruby, you slide down like a fireman off of this tower. Honu, you got a 12?
Yes.
And Dag, you also got a 12.
Conveniently, yes.
So you guys stumble, both grab the rope at the same time. Is like, no, who first? And
Ruby just slides down that thing like.
Why?
You can just Seth sound over that entire segment.
That entire segment, yeah. You know what? With the 12, I'll just say it. You guys are Earthbenders. You can handle it. The tower begins to crumble, and before you're able to slide down this rope, it all falls apart, and you guys land on the ground, taking, I want to say, 3d6.
Wait.
Yes?
Before they take any damage, Taman is going to use... Oh, what was the name of it? Slow Fall. It's a 2G reaction, and is going to allow his allies to fall slowly until they hit the ground.
Cool. So you guys both try to go for the rope. At the same time, get stumbled up on that. And then one of you, for some reason, thinks, oh, no, the keg! We should try to get that first. You try to go back as it all falls apart. And as you're about to fall, you feel yourself, like you guys shut your eyes as you're falling to the ground. And then you open them, realizing you're just kind of like gently gliding your way down to the floor instead of just straight falling out of a crumbling tower.
Totally could have slept there.
Yeah, I mean...
we
lost the keg.
Yeah, well... You know, easy come, easy go. Taman's gliding in the sky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Taman would have had to have glided down to the ground with you to be able to use slow fall.
Oh, Great, yeah.
Because would have had to been with it. What is the range for slow fall? I think it's supposed to be like right next to me or something. So would have basically used the air cushion and glided to the ground with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then Dag looks over at Toman and just gestures with a water skin filled with whiskey. Like, well, thanks for that. Owe you a drink.
But not
That
too
would,
much. We need
appreciate
to,
it. Maybe
make that last.
Maybe try and get out of a crumbling tower faster next time.
Yeah, we would have been fine. We've survived worse.
We lived, didn't we?
Remember the quicksand? Honu survived that 3 times.
I'm still not sure Honu remembers the quicksand.
I know. I saw it on the way here. I kept my eye out.
Karamaki sniffs the air and goes,
What's in that water skin?
Would you like a little man?
Who you call little? Bub.
You?
Dag looks down at the sugar glider.
Come on, get him.
As Dag stood back up after being brought to the ground.
Yeah, with slow fall, they don't fall prone. So yeah, they both landed on their feet.
Alright, Toman's just going to use the gust cantrip and knock him over, or try to knock him over.
Yeah, you get, Dag, you get shoved into, like, up against the tree, and Karamaki just nods approvingly.
Yeah. That's fine. Dag's not gonna make a thing of it. He is gonna, like, look at Taman, though, and just say, nope, you've lost your drink. And then he's gonna take a swig from the water skin.
Yeah, and as you start, like, taking a swig and kind of walking away from the situation, you bump into a figure, and all of you kind of stop and begin to look. I can imagine the way, like, cartoons look, where one person is looking at something, and then everyone just kind of, like, pops into view to look at it, too. As you bump into what looks like a, like, 4-foot-tall, standing on its hind legs, koala, walking with a staff that sits like a good 2 feet taller than it, as it turns over and looks at you and goes, of course, it's more humans.
You met others.
Regrettably, yes.
How recently?
Hold on. And it looks back over to the tree and has its hand placed on one of its roots. And you see this light blue glow come out of its hands. And it says, "Now I can't help with what's left in there, but I can do this for you to at least cover up that patch." And the tree just makes a mumbling low growl as you see like the equivalent of bark skin being cast as the hole where the tower used to sit is closing up as bark accelerates its growth, covering up the patch to where it's just now this like barky bulge hanging where the tower once stood in the tree.
Now that is pretty awesome.
That's a pretty neat trick.
It's not a trick, it's just what I do. Now, before I answer your questions, what are you humans doing here?
Trying to get out?
Oh, that's perfect. You can get out anywhere but where I am. Go.
Do you know how we can get out of the spirit world?
Otherwise, we're gonna stick with you, bud.
If I had the energy to fight that, I would argue. But I just don't want to talk to humans. And Karamaki goes,
"Hey, come on,"
whispering into your ear.
This is Iketsu. He's the tree speaker.
And roll me a history check, or no, this wouldn't be history. It would be a religion check.
That's a dirty 20 again.
Yeah, you've heard of this spirit through some of the training or knowledge that you've gained in being at some of the air temples. Iketsu's basically like the keeper of the trees, there hasn't been any reports or records of this spirit for a very long time. But that you also know in your records, this is a very slow-moving spirit that really likes. It really likes its own solitude. Doesn't like being around humans. It's always had a distaste for humans, and especially doesn't like being around too many just beings besides the trees. But you're recalling all of that information as it's just like munching on a leaf that Mr. Oaks brought down so that he could give it a munch.
And Honu's over here nudging Dag. Can I keep this one?
The
Come on, I
koala?
got to keep the little one.
Well, if you make good enough friends, I suppose. Are you sure you're up for the responsibility?
If I hear that, I will pop both of them upside the head.
Yeah, Taman is going to suggest that we move on and be like, thank you for helping that tree. There was nothing that we were able to do about the tower embedded in it.
Yes, most humans don't have anything that they can do, except for annoy me.
Yep, well...
We will, be moving on then.
Good. Go.
Right, preferably in the direction of the other people that you were talking about. Or at, like, an exit point.
Preferably both.
It's a good way to get rid of us.
It's very good, like, permanently, too.
Yeah.
You don't want to be near those people. You seem different from them, and they're not going to treat you very kindly.
That's alright, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Wait, what do you mean they're not going to treat us kindly?
If I had the energy, I would spell it out for you. I'll keep it short.
I could sacrifice some chi to give him, if he give us some information.
Oh, you're a bender.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Miss Bender lady, what can you do?
I'm a firebender. However, I follow the way of the dragons. The first firebenders.
Yes, I've heard the tales.
So, I would sacrifice some of my chi energy, just so we can get some of that information you were talking about.
If that's the case. Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion? Yay!
Oh wow.
That is a lovely 25.
Alright. So Iketsu just looks at you, holding the staff, like he's holding the staff, grabs another leaf, starts munching on it. Like, you mentioned that, and it's been like 20 solid seconds before he finally answers you. And he goes, well, if you're a healing firebender, you could get this crick out of my knee.
Alright. And I will use... Let's see, I just wrote it. I will use Blazing Heart. I will do 2 chi points, which is equivalent to each, because 1 chi point is equivalent to 5 HP.
So that's 10 HP.
Mm-hmm. And you get the like a reddish, like an orangish, whitish flame, but it's not like blazing hot, but it's like a nice, comfortable heat. Just going. You say his knee, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Just go over his knees to relieve him of that pain. Kind of massage him a bit. Like, does this feel better?
And he just goes, You can't tell if that's out of pleasure or pain.
A little more to the left?
Don't say lower, don't say lower, don't say lower.
I mean, it'd be lower than the knee, so...
Don't say higher, don't say higher.
Look, that thigh, yes. You nasty people. Anyway.
Christ.
At least he didn't say he want a happy ending.
What is it that humans do with each other? Yeah, Daggy taking a swig as he said that. And he just goes,
I haven't felt that good in the last 40 years.
In Ruby's mind, you're like, I'm good with my skills.
Well, that was nice. Let me ask you, have you heard of the Red Lotus?
My history is crap.
Oh, I think
The
you mean
Red
the
Lotus.
White Lotus, right?
No, that's a different pigment.
Damn, man,
Yeah, all of you go ahead and roll.
I'm not going to
history.
bother. Dag doesn't know.
Tag doesn't know. Unless that's an alcoholic beverage.
I bet there's a bar somewhere that has a drink called the Red Lotus.
Oh, yeah, it's made with
no
Fireball
doubt.
whiskey.
There's a drink called the Bossing Say Blast.
I'd drink that.
And
Got
the
a
version,
15 to
and
find
the
out if it's an
version,
alcoholic
of
beverage.
it.
What?
got a 19?
I missed what? What are we rolling here?
History.
History.
History. Okay.
Mine is 14.
Yeah, I don't think an 8's gonna get very far.
But Honu, you said you got a what? A 19?
15.
15. That literally just passes. Honu's the only one that knows that name. He knows that those are the baddies. Long story short, that was the team that opposed the White Lotus back in Korra's time, and was the team that killed the Earth Queen back like 50 or 60 years ago.
Dang.
And they just go,
I'll tell you what.
and you notice this is when you realize he's kind of like carrying a sack with the other hand. He turns around and just kind of gestures one way, and he says,
If you follow me, I can help you find a way out of here. But I need something else in return.
What would that be, good sir?
I need you to get this other human out of my hair.
What other human?
You'll see!
as he walks his total of 10-foot movement off back into the woods a little bit.
Would it be easier for one of us just to carry him?
Don't touch me. Ah.
Pick him up like a handbag.
What if I just move the earth under him to
He
make
casts
him
tree
go?
stride on himself and just teleports through a tree into another one that's like 40 feet away.
Come
There we
now.
go. That'll do it.
Yeah,
There we
we just follow.
Come!
He goes into another tree.
I just pretty much just running after him.
Yeah. We made
That's
too
the only
many
thing you
jokes.
can do.
I'm sick of this human humor. Double H. A little spirit humor for you.
And that's where we'll end that session, or at least that chapter.
Alright.
Great. Good.
At least we know this. There are other humans here. Red
At least
Lotus.
one.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Book 2, Chapter 6, New Starts. If you liked our show and would like to show us some support, feel free to drop by our Discord, We Roll Dice, where we also put every once in a while bloopers from the previous week's chapters, as well as where you can find the Elemancer classes. You can also always give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app, such as Spotify or Apple Podcast, and follow us on social medias at DiceBendersD&D. Thank you for listening, everybody, and subscribe for more shenanigans.